go to the gentleman from District 29.
Mr. Speaker, I think one of the problems that we're missing in this debate is that the only way our elected officials, our local school board members, are going to know what's on the minds of the teachers is if they have to come to the table to discuss those things. In easy years where the decisions are easy, sure, school board members probably can navigate the various issues, figure out where to spend the money, where not to spend the money. Teachers are probably okay with that. But it's not those easy years that this law is in place for. It's when it gets difficult. When it gets difficult, you get to a point, we all do it, where we'd rather just be able to make the decision that's easy as opposed to have to hear all the hard information. But as we know, in this body, that's why we get paid the big bucks. We have to sit in committees, we have to hear from competing interests, and in fact, we even ask individuals who come to us with changes to go out to the stakeholders to find information out. We want to gather more information rather than less, because the last thing we want to do is make a decision that we end up regretting in a year or in 2 years. So here we have negotiations with teachers. Let's say it is a May. Let's say the year is difficult. Let's say you have limited resources, but you're still expected to provide quality education to the kids in your community, satisfy the parents that you're doing the best work you can for them. This is important to you. That's why you ran. Much easier not to meet with the union because of what you think they might ask for. And yes, they may come to the table with unreasonable requests in the beginning. Perhaps that's because the union needs to hear what the school board is facing and what challenges they have. It works both ways. I've negotiated for our local teachers union. That was part of the process. You come to the table, you're pretty far apart. As you start to listen to one another, you realize, okay, I guess I understand why they say they can't give us X and Y, but they could still do Z. And pretty soon you negotiate and you both leave the table having gotten a deal that you aren't thrilled about, but it's one you can live with. And then you go back and do your jobs better educated, better understanding the other side. That is what negotiations are. I've heard from other unions that engage in these same processes that oftentimes what happens, their role simply becomes helping the decision makers understand where the collective body is coming from. If they don't have to negotiate with the teachers' unions, if they don't have to do that and they choose not to, how are they going to find out what is the pulse of the organization? What the pulse of the teachers are on particular issues? They won't. They'll just be sticking their finger up in the air and trying to figure out where the wind's blowing from. This process is not magic. We use it all the time, whether it's in business or in our personal lives. If you want to find out what the other side is thinking, you got to ask the questions. You got to be willing to listen. You can turn off that noise, but you're not going to be making good decisions. And there will be a consequence for that. It might be that school year, but it might be 2 years later or 3 years later. The issues might compound themselves because you're not listening. Making everybody get around the table simply gives us an opportunity to listen to one another. Thank you.